All right, looks like we're live and kicking. Welcome back to the T-Bird podcast. It is the 17th of March, 2025. It is a beautiful 11/8 day today, capturing those 11 and 8 energies for today's stream. Not going to make this stream too long. I have dropped the StreamYard link in on my Twitter. My Twitter handle is @TheRealTBirdX. If you are keen to jump on and you're someone that I'm familiar with in the community, feel free to jump in, request to come into the stream, and I will add you up, and then we can get a conversation going and make it interactive. This is also the first time I'm testing out broadcasting the stream both to my YouTube channel and my Twitter simultaneously. So it'll be interesting to see how that sort of unfolds. A lot of really interesting things to cover today in the realm of crypto, and more specifically Pulse Chain, Hex, and everything that's going on with the Richard Heart ecosystem, and even more specifically Hex itself. And as you can see behind me, you should see the Hex logo, because I'm a huge advocate for Hex, the cryptocurrency itself, and everything it stands for, and what it codifies. Anyone that's been following me especially on Twitter more than anywhere else for long enough will know that I'm a staunch advocate for Hex Pulse Chain and everything that's happening on Pulse Chain and everything that's being built on Pulse Chain, so forth. So definitely one of the things that I wanted to talk about and cover is, which is basically breaking news, really just within the last 24 hours, is the OA entity, which is the largest holder of Hex. It has just restaked a gigantic amount of tokens out and laddered it from 1 year to 10 years out, which is absolutely massive, because not only has it further amplified the scarcity of Hex itself, but on top of that, it's it's actually really difficult to summarize how massive this is for the Hex system itself, and also for the perception and optics for outsiders looking in to what's going on, especially when you're seeing on the Twitter timeline, you're seeing multiple alerts on whale accounts with what's going on with Hex on Ethereum as well, not just on Hex on Pulse Chain as well. I'm just going to bring up what's going on in the Twitter sphere. Oh, cool. So yeah, I can see myself streaming on Twitter, which is cool. So the broadcast definitely worked. I like that. On my particular page, you've got Dev Huey updating the latest data on all the different wallets, different sizes for Hex on Pulse Chain. Definitely, if you're not following Dev Huey, you should be. Whether you've been in the Hex and Pulse Chain ecosystem for a long time or not, this Dev Huey account has been around for a long time and always posted a lot of really useful and updated data on what's going on with Hex and Pulse Chain, and even more specifically Hedron and Icosa. And if you're not familiar with Hedron and Icosa, Hedron is basically the it's got multiple aspects to it, but in a nutshell, Hedron is basically a token that enables you to tokenize NFTs, financial NFTs, using hex stakes, and it also provides you with supplementary yield, which you're earning as a hex staker on top of the yield that you're earning as a hex staker, which is really cool. And Icosa is the brother to Hedron. But yeah, if you want to learn more about Hedron and Icosa in conjunction with Hex, definitely follow the main Hedron account on Twitter for all updates on that. And you can go back, you can follow accounts like Crypto Sloth. He goes really deep into the analytics and the data surrounding everything associated with Hedron and Icosa. He does really, really awesome breakdowns of all that stuff. And also Crypto Sloth is another one of those hexagons who've been around a long time and put out a lot of awesome content, informational content regarding Hedron and Icosa. So let's go back to the OA staking out hundreds of billions of coins for years on top of the huge amount that was already staked out long term, I believe. So scarcity is amplified, and on top of that, liquidity has also massively reduced, which is really cool to see, because it makes it any really large holder is going to be less incentivized to be dumping larger quantities because of the slippage that would be incurred as a result of dumping larger amounts, which is not only hurting yourself on the way out if you exit, but it's just murdering the price chart. And as a large holder, if you've got some intelligence, you'll ideally want to minimize like the quantities of in terms of exit. It's not hurt yourself on the price chart and all the rest of it. So anyway, without getting on into all that. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. And it's essentially in the context of the entire history of the things, even the very few things that the OA has done, which up until very recently, up until around the time when the Pump Ties platform launched, only a couple of, about 3 weeks ago now, maybe less, the OA activity was completely dormant since around the big payday, which was over 4 years ago. So not only is it massive that we're seeing it massive in the context of it being so long up until very recently since the OA made any activity on chain, but on top of that, it's massive in the context of the actual activity that the OA has engaged on with what it's doing now. Massive. It did some long stakes and also did some rolling short-ish stakes, massive stakes short term as well. But a lot, I think, the laddering of 1 to 10 years that the OA has just done with what it's staked was staking out basically what it was short terming just recently. So it's absolutely huge. And not just the Hex and Pulse Chain ecosystem itself. It's exciting for people that have been in the community for a long time to see this kind of activity, but it's going to be very interesting to observe how the broader market reacts to this news and reacts to this activity, especially given where we're at in this current stage of the cycle. Before I continue, just want to quickly give a shout out to SJ. I see her in the chat. Love everything you do. You've been amazing. You've been an amazing individual in our community that's always brought so much positivity, and yeah, your contributions have been incredible for years. I've been following you for a long time. Thank you for all that you do behind this, up front and behind the scenes as well. And also love seeing all the stuff that's happening with the Pulse Chain Tour as well. You're doing some great stuff there. I'd love to get out to get out there, to get involved with what the community is up to over in the US. And who knows, maybe in the latter part of this year, I might be able to make things happen, but we'll see. We'll see how things progress throughout the rest of this year. And Zero X in here. Appreciate SJ. Really appreciate your compliment on my voice. Yeah, so just want to get my voice out there a little bit more, and not just be exclusively active on Twitter. And anyone that's been following me for any length of time now will know that I've been extremely and consistently active on Twitter for years and years. Only now just dipping my toes into doing some video streaming and live streaming. And more than anything else, because the specific timing in the context of energies is in perfect alignment for me to get myself to push myself a little bit further. But even just in the context of crypto itself, this is the time to be getting active in general. So if putting the numerology and astrology stuff aside, which is the kind of stuff I love talking about, and I'm definitely very passionate about numerology and astrology, and even more especially how energetics and numerology and astrology can be applied to crypto. And so I've been going really deeply into all that stuff for almost a year now. Shout out to GG33 for all that stuff. So I'm gonna mostly, I think, gonna keep this stream not too long. I'm gonna keep streams to be relatively short. I don't want them to be too long, so I don't want them to drag out. But today, on multiple fronts, is definitely a beautiful opportunity to get a stream going. Again, I've dropped the StreamYard link to my Twitter. So if there's anyone out there listening who is really keen to jump in and wants to talk about what's going on in Hex and Pulse Chain overall, and even anything crypto-wise, macro-wise, definitely keen to cover any of that stuff. Yeah, see Zero X in here. Good to see you, man. I see Coexistent Stephen, absolute legend. Did a stream with him just a few days ago. He's an awesome streamer and an awesome dude. If you're not following him already on Twitter and on YouTube, you definitely want to be following that guy. His contributions to the community has been exceptional as well. Mad respect. So I just want to get into a couple more of the news items just to get them covered. So yeah, the OA laddering out 1 to 10 years, that huge amount is just absolutely incredible to see, and it really is going to have a powerful impact in the context of bullish sentiment. As we go further and further and deeper into 2025, I can definitely see the ripple effect of that taking hold. What else? Yeah, so what else can I cover? This is, I want to reiterate, I touched on it on the stream that I did with Steve and a few days ago, that we are in the snake year. And so from an energetic standpoint, from multiple vantage points, there's going to be some in some ways we're already starting to see crazy things happen since the snake year ticked over after January 29th. But I think, historically speaking, you look back at some key historic events that have happened in snake years of past, whether it's, 65, 77, 89, 2001, 2013. Just as examples, you look at 1989, fall of the Berlin Wall. You look at 2001, 9/11. You look at 1965, escalation of the Vietnam War. All kinds of crazy stuff happens in the snake year. On the global scale, the macro scale, and that will have a direct impact, of course, on crypto itself as an asset class as well. It's going to be, I definitely expect to see some really wild and unexpected things happen economically and geopolitically throughout the rest of this year. And it's and I maintain the position I've always had since the beginning in this for the long haul with regard to Hex and Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain is only in its first cycle, hasn't really at a period end of story. It hasn't actually experienced its first actual bull run yet. And if it's going to happen, it's going to happen this year in alignment with so many other factors. And that's without me even getting into the numerology / astrology aspect of Pulse Chain, and why and how the energy of Pulse Chain, the energy imprint of Pulse Chain itself, and how that ties in with the energy imprint of the snake this year. And of course, there's the numerological aspect of the energy imprint of Pulse Chain and everything that was launched with Pulse Chain relative to the energy of the snake as well. So, definitely expect big things. And of course, we're coming off the blood moon, which was really brutal. I think everyone was emotionally feeling that, being in and still being in the full moon cycle. And I've been saying since the beginning of this month, or even late towards the end of last month, that what the trend that I've observed is what we normally see is at the beginning of each quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, in financial terms, we start to see a lot more bullish sentiment than in other sort of nexus points. So So, for example, beginning of January, beginning of April, beginning of July, and beginning of October. So I was already saying that, yeah, expect a mostly, a red month for March, whatever. And then once April hits, that's when we'll start to see, some of that green stuff that we've been, people who've been in this ecosystem for a long time have been sort of waiting on for a long time. And I mean, but no matter how long it takes, I'm going to be, like I've said many times, I'm in for the long haul. I'm on chain. So, it's, even if it takes, for waiting till the next bull cycle, so be it. But, um, 2025 is always going to be a massive make or break year, not just for Hex and the Pulse chain ecosystem, but for crypto overall. And it's pretty wild that we're seeing across the board, across all of crypto, the level of pain and the amount of shattered expectations in the context of crypto-wide performance. Not seeing any kind of signal of a crypto-wide alt season yet. I personally, purely my personal personal opinion, at least one solid alt season wave is coming. When that hits, hard to say. Could be quarter 2, quarter 3, even as late as quarter 4. But there's got to be at least some kind of resurgence in Ethereum in conjunction with Pulse Chain. And I personally think, and I did a tweet on this earlier today or yesterday, that it's just as likely that Pulse Chain actually catalyzes the initial alt season wave versus Ethereum. I think there's so much negative sentiment around Ethereum for various reasons. But the way I look at it is equal to, or even more so, Pulse Chain could actually catalyze it, catalyze the first alt season wave, which will bring up Ethereum with it. So regardless of whether Ethereum catalyzes it or Pulse Chain catalyzes it for EVMs, they're all of it is going to go up together. There is that, that strong correlation principle in play. But even with all that said, Pulse Chain can do its own pump on its own. It definitely doesn't have to rely on the movement of Ethereum, the upside of Ethereum. So even though I see quite a few people on the Twitter timeline and YouTube as well, talking about how Pulse Chain can't move without Ethereum going up, I think that's a bit of a stretch. I'm not on board with that personally. But let's have a look at the chat, see if there are people coming through. All right, so we've got Crypto Class. Good to see you. Keep doing what you do. Appreciate. I've been seeing that you've been streaming a little bit recently. Thank you for getting the word out. Love your channel. Everyone out there should be following your YouTube channel, Crypto Class. Justin Gicoma, good to see you, man. I think I recognize you from the Twitter timeline. Let's see what you're saying. Awesome, brother. Yeah, good to see you, man. Yeah, I do recognize you on the Twitter timeline. Thanks for dropping through. Yes, I think I'll leave it there. Keeping it short and sweet. thank you for tuning in. I'm going to be consistently streaming like this, live streaming, whether it's on my own or with guests. I'll definitely be looking to have some guests lined up to jump on the stream to get some interactive conversations going, whether it's crypto, whether it's on crypto, numerology, astrology, philosophy, any of that stuff I'm really into. So I'll wrap it up there. Thanks to everyone in the chat for coming through, showing your support. If you want to support me, I've got my crypto donations and fiat donations on my YouTube channel and on my Twitter account. There's only one Twitter account, so if there's anyone else there, and like if you get DMs from anyone that's from me, like in Twitter, it's not me. So there's only this one account. Don't fall for any scams of anyone trying to shill you anything, posing as me, as an imposter or anything like that. My Twitter handle is @TheRealTBirdHex. Only one account. Yeah, if you want to show your support, fiat and crypto donations are both on YouTube and Twitter, and just hit the subscribe and follow on this YouTube channel to support me. I'm definitely looking to expand massively out this year. Well, I want to keep the positive vibes up because I know it's been a really savage bear cycle for a lot of people, myself included. But we keep battling on. Hexagons are the most resilient. The Hexagon community is the most resilient community and the loudest community in crypto, period, end of story. And we will win this. We will win. And over at T-Bird, over and out. I'll see you in the Twitters.